a specific memory, but yeah, I guess I heard about ESF through Robin Wall Kimmerer's work. I knew about the SUNY systems, but then this one specifically through Robin. So I was hired as part of the cluster hire of faculty on Indigenous environmental science. That was the research area that I did my graduate work in, I'm really passionate about, and so I applied while I was in my PhD, and we've been really lucky to actually get the job, so I've been really excited to be here. So I teach an undergraduate class in Intro to Native Peoples, Lands and Cultures. That's the introductory class for the several classes that the Center for Native Peoples and the Environment supports for students who want to build their understanding of Indigenous peoples and working with Indigenous nations on research and caretaking of our environment. The Center for Native Peoples and the Environment has a really unique role and is able to do really unique work because it's been in existence for so long and led by dedicated folks who've really worked to build relationships with the nations nearby. And it allows for students who come here to learn from folks who are engaged in these partnerships and build those skills that they can carry forward in their career in working with Indigenous nations. I also teach a graduate level class in community-based participatory research, which is really geared towards students who want to work in community to do research that supports community goals and involves community along the way. I'm always learning as a teacher, and each semester I try out a little bit different method or philosophy or assignment and learn from the students on how they respond to that, because the goal is to invite people where they're at, whatever background they're coming in with, to think about Indigenous peoples and their relationship with Indigenous nations and how they might choose to respect Indigenous sovereignty in their own work moving forward. At this point, because I've only been teaching for 2 years, are really continuing to take shape, and every year I learn a new aspect or thing I want to develop, and I try to work on different aspects of each course each year, and of course respond to student feedback on what's successful and what isn't, and also finding my voice as a teacher. I'm non-Indigenous, I'm a white settler, I grew up in central Pennsylvania, and so learning to speak from my own position and share my own journey and how I've come to this work, especially teaching about Indigenous peoples, exploring my own voice and finding ways to teach in ways that meet a lot of students where they're at. My research is all with Indigenous nations as partners, centered around water, plants, and the environment and climate. My background's in geology and earth sciences and hydrology, and then I also have experience in building my knowledge base and experience in working with Indigenous nations, so I'd really try to work at the intersection of those two things, and that really leads me to community-based work and working in community, which is the other class that I teach, graduate level community-based research. So how do you set up, design a research project in collaboration with a community and support their priorities and goals along the way? We are working on a plant protection project in collaboration with nations across what we now know as New York State to identify culturally important plants, look at their vulnerability with climate change and land use change, and then support restoration and caretaking projects, research programs. That work is ongoing, looking at climate models and climate predictions of culturally important plants and sharing that with nations. Very lucky to teach and do research in line with the two things that I'm really passionate about, which is working with people and working with and for the environment. The people here bring me hope and joy. The students have so much passion and excitement. I think that they care deeply about some aspect of the environment, usually very niche or specific, but the environment in general. People usually have like a very specific passion, which is awesome because that means that everybody has these passions and gifts to share with the community and we can all learn from each other. The more passionate and nerdy, the better, I think. If I was gonna describe a stereotypical ESF student, it's wonderful to know that they will be the next generation and we get to support them in carrying forth their dreams. Also seeing the dedication of the staff and the faculty here who care about the students in this place and all the work that they've been able to do, and learning from their work makes it feel possible to keep building the world that we want to see.